There's only one Mayweather.
So even though famously you like to party, surrounded by people who are notorious partiers, you don't partake. You may stay out late, but you don't partake.
Absolutely not. You know, I got to stay focused because I know that, you know, one shot can end your whole career. And boxing is a very, very deadly sport. It's a sport that's very entertaining, but very, very, you know, deadly.
And I vowed to bring terror once my father introduced me to this game. All he did was just that. So he can't share my limelight or take credit for my fame. Greatness is a virtue. And with that being said, I started hitting the heavy bag at the age of 2. Had to stand on the chair to hit the speed bag. The cost of excellence doesn't come with a price tag. If it did, then I'll pay the balance. Accepted the challenge from each contender, I'm a workhorse. I grind so hard that I'm HBO endorsed on the 24/7 supervision. Just to document my vision. Check out me training, enjoy my conditions. My only loss came as an amateur in the 96 Olympics. Off a judge's decision, felt like I got robbed. Hated to be in that position. I just took it as God telling me I'm working hard, but I can work a little harder. Some people say I'm a success addict, but for that very reason I remain alone on the top shelf. I'm determined not to lose, because my legacy is based off my victories, and if I lose, then I'm just like everybody else. They say I never fought from behind. That's because my defense is insane. Must I remind you about what I did to De La Hoya, Hatton, Ortiz, Marquez, Sugar Shane? Your prediction outlandish. You boxing critics don't know a thing. You can't dispute what is undisputed. I promise. Every matchup, you media suckers create a circus frenzy for these clowns. But you quickly forget, I never been knocked out, let alone been knocked down. 4 different weight classes, I'm still holding my crown. So I don't care if you have your entire city backing you. Once you and I enter the ring, they won't be able to help. To sum it all up, I'm whooping ass when I take off these belts. My blows are like a punishment, and enough will leave you grounded. Reporters state in every interview, arrogant is how it sounded, but it's confidence. Know the distinction. If you ever wanted to hear what greatness sounds like, listen closely when I'm speaking. In the ring, I'm putting on the clinic, so come get your teachings. My punches landed as high than quarterback completions. They say that history repeats itself, so you know that winners blaze the trail. I be about it just as much as I speak about it. Some call it show and tell. Hard work, dedication is the reason I prevail. So all your petty talk don't bother me. When you can find another person who can go a decade without an L, then holla at me.
Floyd Mayweather has built a reputation as #1, perhaps the finest fighter of his generation, and #2, one of the greatest defenders in the history of the sport.